I'm a little bit country, she's a little bit rocky road. Wake up and get ready for the Breakfast with Bob St. George show.
Macho Man! Welcome back, everybody. Breakfast with Bob St. George edition. My name is Bob Babbitt, and we're brought to you by Master Spa, Zion's Bank, Quintana Roo, Forum Smart Swim Goggles, Clash Endurance, Premium Plus Sports, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation, one of our favorite athletes of all time, here in beautiful St. George. Let's see. We're talking 4-time Wildflower champion, 10-time at least 70.3 champion, probably more since then, 6-time Ironman champion, 3rd, 4th, and 2/5 in Kona, Escape from Alcatraz champion. Heather Jackson joins us. How you doing, Heather?
Hi, Bob.
Yeah. Huge studio audience. I love it. You're good?
Yeah, we're good. Yep.
It's been a long time.
I know, right? We're finally back, so that's exciting.
When we were chatting in Daytona, and you're talking about, hey, I think I'm going to mix in some gravel stuff this year as well as triathlon. After this race, you're going gravel?
I am, yeah. I'm pretty excited. Yeah, we had talked about that, especially through COVID. Waddy and I did a lot of gravel bike riding.
Yeah.
Got out off the roads, just, loving it. So this is, kind of obviously my A race of the first half of the year, but then kind of going into a little bit of a gravel block after.
Yes.
It should be super fun. Yeah, heading to Pete Stetna's putting on a race up in Reno area, Carson City. And then a couple weeks after that, I'll do Unbound, which is a 200-mile gravel race.
Part of the Lifetime series, right?
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Big prize money.
Yes, exactly. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, 200 miles, I've looked up the times just out of curiosity, and it's about the length of for the women, about an Ironman, about 9 hours, I think. So we'll see if that, I'm used to such a long day, so who knows?
Yeah. This type of course, to me, I think of you and I think of Wildflower, right? It's tough, it's windy, it's hilly, it's got all those elements. And look at your other Alcatraz, Placid. When it's hard, Heather Jackson rises up. Do you like this course?
Oh yeah, 100%. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, that's I find myself gravitating towards those type of races. I like the tougher, harder courses.
Yeah.
Just it gives me, obviously, I'm usually out a bit back of the water,
right.
But the harder the course, like the more you need to be tough. And I think that comes from probably my ice hockey background,
yes.
Soccer, just more of that tough mentality of like I can claw back on these hills.
Right.
I love climbing. This course, hilly bike, hilly run. So yeah, actually it's funny you say Wildflower because we've been here a week now, and every training session I'm just like, this is Wildflower, your favorite course ever. You love that race. Like that used to be literally the biggest race I would look forward to every year. And so now I'm just like using that mindset here of this is amazing. Like, and it's showing wind on Saturday.
Right.
So it's going to be hot. I've been training in Tucson. It's been windy, hot, hilly. I've been climbing Mount Lemmon 2-3 times. Like I'm excited.
You're ready. And you change of coaches, Frank Jacobson, right? Not that long before you won Ironman Florida.
Yeah, it was about maybe 6 weeks.
Okay.
It was. I learned so much under Ryan. I had
Yep.
an amazing couple of years training with Ryan. He, I think, laid a really big volume base for me, just with the amount of training we did, and I loved it. It was just like to see what my body could do, but I felt when we returned to racing, I was just kind of
tired a little bit
fatigued.
tired.
Yeah. I think, certain people can train like Sam Long, and I feel like I needed to maybe take a step back and get back to some more speed, change things up. And so Frank came via suggestion of Craig Alexander, who we had chatted with him a bunch it was August, September time when they had canceled Kona, and it was one of those just like,
oh, what now?
Another disappointment. Like, now what do we do? And I knew I needed to reset. We had I was going to say a call with Frank. We had like 30 calls with Frank, and it would just, it was amazing. It just, one of those where you just click with someone. We actually drove up here for the 70.3 World Championships in September to cheer everyone on.
Right.
And meet Frank in person. And then it was, I think, 6 weeks till Florida. So got back to some speed work, some more quality, lower the volume a bit, still doing quite a bit. I mean, this block leading into this race, I've done a lot, but it's just, I think sometimes certain things work. You got to figure that out. You have to know if it's not working for you. It's neither good or bad. It's just like you need to know what works for you. And I think we've found a great formula right now.
Absolutely.
The training's great. I have Frank, I have my husband Waddy, who just, the two of them for the last 3, 4, 5 months, it's just been like nailing it every day. Like, okay, getting feedback to Frank, Waddy giving feedback, Waddy seeing how I'm responding.
Right.
So it's been a great team.
I love it. And when you made that change, Frank Jacobson, I've been following him, and I know what he did when Crowe finished fourth in Kona in 2010 after being two-time defending champion, and he had to change everything. He had to rip everything up. He had to basically go, okay, I used to think that I can, I didn't need to show my nose at the front of the bike ride. I'd wait for the run, and I'd run by everybody. Well, for 2011, he took 15 minutes off his bike split, and then he broke the course record, and that was under Frank. So knowing that he took an athlete, and I think Crowe was 38, 37. He was like a little older at the time, so he knew recovery was important. And Sam Long is 25 years old. You're not, right? You have to change. You have to change so having a coach who understands that makes a difference.
100%, and that's exactly it. It's like I used to be that athlete that I just want to repeat everything. Like, okay, I had a great Kona, we're going to do exactly the same. And it worked for a few years, and then you start to notice in your training, either it gets stagnant or you do need to shift. You're a different person. I'm not the same athlete I was 10 years ago. And so Frank brings that experience. He brings that knowledge, working with Crowe. He works with Michelle Vesterby.
Right.
He works with Sarah Spence. Like, he's got so much experience across so many different athletes. And I think knowing, like you're saying, like as you move on in your career, things change of what you need.
Absolutely.
And the biggest thing for me, I mean, I've now been training in triathlon for, I think, 13, 14 years.
I was going to say 15 years almost. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We were trying to do
I've got cards going back to a lot of years here.
Exactly. And it's like, I know the training. The training, you do need to figure out the training that works. For me, not the biggest thing, because Frank's training is amazing, and it's, I think, really working. Frank is literally like a mental mind wizard. And for me, at this point in my career, I think that's where I'm finding a bit of that little bit extra of like him. Like, I love the psychology of athletes and going into races. I'm feeling confident, prepared, like approaching it the right way, like not getting anxious or anxiety or nerve. Like, I mean, I still have those, but it's like he's been here with us, Waddy and I, the last 10 days, and it's like constantly like flipping how you think about things or how you're going to approach the race. And that mental thing for me has been huge, I think.
Well, it makes a difference because you come out of the water, you're going to be a little back, and it's how you look at that. It's like, oh crap, you can do that, or okay, I'm right where I want to be.
Exactly.
There's a lot of climbing, there's a lot of wind.
Yep.
There's a lot of time for me to get back.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
There's no rush.
Yep. It's like your swim is what it is. Like, all you have in front of you is opportunity to make a difference on the bike and run, not dwell on it. Opportunity lies ahead of you. It's on you now, like, not to make mistakes. It's on you, like, shifting how you can think of the day versus maybe how I've dealt with it in the past. So.
How are you balancing the gravel part of it and triathlon part of it?
We haven't done like too much specific yet, I would say.
On gravel.
Yeah. I mean, if I just have a ride, like Waddy and I go out on our gravel bikes, base riding, so you're not doing interval work or things like that on the gravel bike and things like that? We haven't yet, no.
Okay.
I have a month in between this and Unbound, so I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yes. Now, is Frank coaching for both?
Yes, he will.
That's perfect.
We haven't I've been doing like 7-8 hour rides, so
wow.
I think that will translate.
Well, see, and that stuff will certainly help here. 7-8 hours on a gravel bike? Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, that was on my TT bike.
Oh, on your TT bike. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm sure we'll get into. We're gonna go back to Waddy and I'll head back to. Well, first I have Herbalife.
LA.
triathlon the weekend after.
Yes.
And then we'll head back to Tucson and probably head down to Patagonia, Arizona area.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable gravel riding.
Okay.
It'll be good kind of training area, and then we'll van life it out to Unbound.
Oh, that's going to be so
it'll
cool.
be fun.
Well, and you've been obviously to some of the gravel races, and it's just it's sort of a different vibe, right?
It's different vibe. It's cool. It's different. I think it's growing. I think it's going to be
no question.
Like the next big thing.
Yep.
I think more and more people are going to get drawn into it. So yeah, I'm just excited to check it out more and enjoy it, and I don't have to swim.
Well, and the more you can ride and not have to deal with cars, the better
Exactly.
off life is, right?
It's crazy how bad roads are getting all over.
Everywhere.
So,
You can't get away from it.
yeah.
No.
Get off the roads, gravel.
So we mentioned, earlier mentioned Wildflower. And obviously, a lot of us want to bring that thing back at
Yes.
some point.
Yes.
What made that race great?
I mean, talking about gravel, I feel like it has similar vibe. It was
Yeah.
it's so laid back. You're camping. Everyone's in one enclosed area. You've got food carts. You've got bands playing.
Yes.
Like, everyone's just there enjoying it, having fun.
Right.
And it felt just this community family event where people are hanging out, like not hiding in hotel rooms or Airbnbs. And I mean, yes, this year is a world championship. People are taking it very seriously, but Wildflower, I mean, I took it seriously every year, but it also, you could still have this most amazing time and take the race seriously.
Right.
So I thought for me, it was this perfect balance of both sides.
Right. Talk a little bit about Plush.
Well,
All right.
So Plush stands, I mean, we came up with this after Waddy wanted to call the brand Plush, but perfect level of stoke and high performance. So what I'm talking about with Wildflower, like, you can have an amazing time. You can be out on your gravel bike training for a world championship event. You can have both worlds and still be a high performance athlete, like
No question.
going after the biggest goal. So for us, this is our new team, new brand, just bringing a lot of people have supported Waddy and I over the last few years,
Yep.
going through bit of a time on the business side, and this is our team. This is our family coming out full force. Well, we have quite a few here at St. George, but at the races this year, and getting together for events like Wildflower, getting together for parties after the races, and just enjoying that community side of our sport. So.
And sometimes we underestimate. I mean, the business part impacts you as a person and you as an athlete, right? It's hard to go train when you've got other stuff in your head, right?
Yes.
And that makes it really tough. But when you look at, we were just looking at 2019, and right, you had such a great year in 2019, and then the world shuts down, right? So it's like, oh my God! And again, that's a time when the business is a problem and everything else. How did you get through that?
Yeah, exactly. 19 was great. Had a great Kona there.
Yeah.
Ended up 5th again, and
Yep.
it was like, okay, like next
year
yeah,
is
like
my
ready,
year.
like
Yeah.
building in. Okay, back to a solid day, because 18 I didn't have a great day there, so it was okay building into the year, and then COVID hit, and it was. COVID actually for us, Waddy and I, we were down in Arizona, and we were actually quarantining or isolated with two really good friends, Paula Finley and Eric Lagerstrom.
Yeah.
And we would just, head down to Patagonia, gravel ride, camp. It was actually amazing, I thought, 2020.
Yeah.
Then they ended up getting a house up in Bend, like a mile from us. So
Sweet.
we got back up to Bend, like everyone, it was great. It was just like outdoors camping, kind of this pause. But then 2021, I thought was worse than 2020 because like you're saying, coming back, we had some business problems. We had racing back, but not necessarily like
Sort of. And
you couldn't plan. You still couldn't plan.
Yeah.
Like there were races last year I hopped into week of because I'm like, well, you never know. It could shut down again. I want to race. I've been without it for a year. So I would just not randomly, but we would,
Yeah.
okay, we'll go to Galveston. We'll go to Florida just
so you
to
weren't
get
quite,
to race.
yeah, because you weren't quite prepared for them, but
Yeah.
you had to take what you can get.
Exactly. So that was more difficult for me than the year prior where we're like enjoying being outside camping. So last year it was one of those like I wasn't at my top level. I wasn't at my best, and then Kona got canceled again, and it makes you just like another deflation. So I think, resetting last August, hooking up with Frank as a team, and then regrouping and coming out with Florida. For me, I put it back together. That made me be like, okay, you're good.
It makes you feel like you're going the right direction.
Yes.
Right? You've been working with this coach for not very long, and all of a sudden you're winning. And a race, really, realistically, it's not Wildflower, right? It's not hilly,
Right.
up and down, windy. It is Florida's flat.
Yes.
It's not quite a Heather Jackson course, and you won.
Once again, I would not have ever picked Florida.
Right.
Ever. And it was the only course. It was that or Cozumel. And Cozumel, I was like, well, we don't want to leave the country in case we have something again with COVID. So it was Florida. And it was, again, going into it, I'm like, this is not going to be good. Like, it's just going to be flat. And ended up, actually, I would recommend that race. It was cool, even though I don't like flat courses.
Yes.
But it was a good atmosphere, good vibe. The spectators were amazing. So I would, to others who might look at that race, it was good. But not something I would pick.
But
so
it validated what you were doing.
Yes.
Which was so important leading into this year.
Exactly.
Love it.
So.
Have yourself a awesome race. The
Thanks,
finish
Bob.
line is right behind us
I
here.
know. They're setting up. It's exciting. I'm like, finally, the last week I've been getting those, like, okay, this is great. I love that, like, big race vibes.
And it's only a big race when Poncho Man is there.
Exactly. All the way here.
Are we ready? I'm a little bit country. She's a little bit rocky road. Wake up and get ready for your breakfast with Bob St. George morning show.
Thank you, Poncho Man.